Hello, hello, my name is Cassius. I'm going to be doing a tarot reading for you today. I'm hearing it's time to come home. It's time to come home. A lot of cards are wanting to come out. I'm feeling a bit anxious, a bit nervous. I'm not trying to transmit that energy to you. So before I take these cards that have already fallen out onto the table, let me clear my energy a bit so that I do not project onto your reading. Okay. I have been doing that for a while as well, just kind of reflecting on what I think the reading might be about, but I decided to start when I heard it's time to come home. And that had me feeling a little nervous because I think that can mean a lot of things for different people, and that's kind of a complicated message to give out. What has come out when I was just beginning to shuffle the deck confirms what I was hoping the phrase meant to me personally, and I'm clearing myself out from being involved. But for you, this means there is something that you wish to begin on that you have started doing in one way or another. I think for about 3 years, you've been studying up internally or externally on how to do this thing that you want to try, that you want to do. And you haven't even known what shape it might take, what it might feel like, what it might sound like, what it might smell like, what it might seem like. And I'm going to do something right now. I'm going to pause the video and get water because I don't have any, but I do want to stay on this roll, so hold on. Okay, I don't know why, but I felt the need to clear my hands with ice. Apparently, handling the ice felt like what really needed to happen in that moment. Maybe just taking a breath and settling down a little bit. And moving this out of the way is really distracting. Okay. It's going to be on my right side this time. And that turned the Three of Pentacles sideways to kind of follow this globe. What I'm recalling now is that the Two of Wands... Sorry, I'm adjusting my footrest underneath. It's Velcro. I'm recalling the Two of Wands reversed for some reason. I haven't even seen it out or around. But that's what I think of when this globe, basically this ability to clear oneself or to have a clear perspective or to see the forest from the trees is what I'm hearing, is compromised by people around you, then moving it will help rectify the situation. I don't know why the Two of Wands came to mind, but let's not ignore it. Sorry if it already sounds a bit scattered, but let's just get a few more details. We're already getting a few more details with that Five of Wands reversed under the deck, and in the middle of this reading sits the Six of Swords upright. I'm going to mute my phone just so that I don't get distracted. I'm so sorry. This is chaotic as fuck. This is how the energy is feeling right now. It's not even retrograde-y or just like eclipsey. It's really just, I think that energies are coming back to life that have old ones have been put to rest. There are new ones coming to life that feel really spectacular and enchanted and big. And I think that that's why it feels exciting to embark on this new thing that you have been slowly and steadily working on for a long time. And these can be internal processes down to healing, family trauma that you didn't know if you were ready to confront, or healing job trauma, which it seems pretty prevalent with this Three of Pentacles. My throat is feeling extremely closed up, and I really want to rip this shirt. I'm sorry. Did I get sunburned earlier? Whatever. Ripping shirts is my favorite pastime. Three of Pentacles is now sideways where it was reversed before, so let's get some more information on that. I don't even know if we got many shuffles in, but as suspected, I am sensing a lot of conflict around you. But I think it's for the same reason that we're also feeling a bit more enlivened to pursue our goals. It's almost like we're starting up too fast simply because the energy is there and not because the time is right. Because I think when the time is right, you'll know. Because you'll feel a lot more grounded than you do right now. With me being chaotic, with moving shit around and not having water, and ripping my shirt 3 seconds into the reading, like, I think there is some merit to going forward with your plans anyway. Especially because I think the act of moving this globe over to knock the Three of Pentacles to be sideways instead of reversed is showing me that these little moves that we are making matter. These little tiny moves that we are making on the chessboard add up. They add up over time, over long amounts of time. So if you're someone who likes to play slow, it's not a bad idea to start early, is what I'm getting. And this is about coming home. This reading is about coming home to yourself, to an idea which fuels you. Speaking of fuel, I'm going to plug in this guy so that we don't lose battery. I just feel that there are all of these little, like, caretaking adjustments where it's like, this is now reversed. Obviously, I just picked it up and flipped it around. It's nothing miraculous, but I didn't expect that. So I'm going to take this time before we shuffle the cards to really set an intention now that I have a little bit of an idea of what's going on. I'm seeing a lot of threes here too. So I want to set the intention to dive into this 3 set energy that is placed before us, to understand this triad for what it is appearing to us symbolically. What do we need to know about 3? What do we need to know about coming home? And what will help us thrive in what feels like home within ourselves more than anything else, so that we may find refuge and home in any building we enter? What is that central core of home? Help us find it. Only those who wish to help. So we have the 5 of Cups reversed, and 5 is the number of the day. 5 is the number of conflict in the tarot realm, I guess. And I heard a crow caw 5 times while I was going on a walk to prepare for this reading. So I thought, ooh, today's going to be a day of conflict. Or at the very least, my next thought was, or the next person I approach, you know, kind of be wary of them. So, interesting. I think that they're me. I was going to say there may be, but I said they're me. So there may be some external feeling, but internally resounding voices that are trying to skew the picture a little bit. This is a friggin' confusing reading so far. I'm just gonna shuffle 5 times. Grounding is important. I don't know. Always. I'll always say that. Alright, we're feeling a little more intrigued is what I'm getting, because while you're making this attempt to fully walk away from your past in a way that feels concrete, solid, permanent, to be laying down foundation which is concrete, solid, and permanent feels antithetical to rushing forward in the way that you are right now. So I think at times you get locked up in like, it's almost like, and I'm thinking very somatically today. I'm in a very like athletic kind of state of mind. I don't know if you're feeling that as well. But when I feel in somatically to like this fear that I perpetually have of relaxing my stomach muscles, I feel and know that this is kind of trauma related. So, I mean, isn't everything, especially when we're going to somatic stuff. But just that fear of letting the abdominal muscles fully actually relax can be a really scary feeling for me internally sometimes. And that's what I'm getting with this like stop and go energy, but more so with the fact that this Six of Cups is stashed underneath the deck reversed, following an Eight of Swords reversed, which is like, hell or high water, I'm walking out of this old chapter because it has held me back for too long. So it's like, you and your chariot, you were already 3 steps over the starting line before the gun even went off. The plume of smoke went and you were already 3 steps out. And that might be why people are kind of looking at you sideways right now. Like, they want to be mad about it. They like want to be mad about it, but they can't help but acknowledge that they are in the same energy with this energy of 3. With this energy of 3, 3, 3, 6. So it's like you are doubling what is presently here for you. You are doubling your abundance, obviously. Like that can easily be said if you see a 3 to a 6, especially with the Six of Swords escaping a reality that doesn't mesh, that doesn't match. And it's not going to be easy to do that ever, but like this chariot is vastly overpowering this reverse 3 of Wands because it's bigger than that. It's bigger than this situation. And the Six of Cups is a subconscious worry that you're housing. It's kind of deep underneath the deck. It's at the bottom of the deck. It's kind of the shadow aspect of the reading. So your willingness to move forward, it's working. I'm here to tell you it's working. And it's propelled by a lot of negative emotions, and that's not a bad thing. If a car can run on water, let it. Just because it doesn't run on gasoline, you're going to be mad about that? I wouldn't. But I'm seeing, here's 5 again. Here's 5. The 5 cause from the Crow. There's a conflict either brewing or it's here. There's someone or something that you've had to distance yourself from in a way that just had to happen, but you may have been distancing yourself for a bit longer than is necessary. I'm getting a bit of a headache here. I'm trying out a new cologne right now that my boyfriend gave to me, and it's giving me a headache. So maybe you're like trying something out that someone suggested to you, and it's a bit more of a headache than it's worth. Or maybe it's just like so much different than what you're used to that it's causing your environment to shift in ways that you don't expect. Either way, what I know for sure is that you don't get far without conflict. And conflict is only fully prevented when you no longer wish to interact with that energy. So if you just never want to have conflict again and never interact with certain energies again, that'll work to a certain extent, but I hate to say this, but at a point it'll catch up. But it might just catch up in your heart. It might just catch... My avoidant ass like is trying to help you get out of this before it even happens. But let's get more context here. Let's get a little more information as to what's going on, because there are 2 situations that are tied here, and it's like I often say, my readings often split into this dualistic kind of layout. So I'm seeing 2 parallel situations that are happening. You're kind of having a hard time making a decision about something. That's not the furthest thing forward, though. That's not the thing that's really standing out to me about this. It's that your willpower, your desire to leave the past behind, which is working, by the way. It's working. It's happening. And here is that 2 of Wands reverse that I was mentioning earlier. I was like, why is it here? This is why it's here. I'm going to leave it here so that I reference it. These 2 situations, the first one is just kind of like a way that you are trying to align with someone in your life so much that I'm hearing the word enmeshment again, that it's causing conflict. You got so enmeshed that conflict happened, is happening, is at the very heart and center of this reading. I want to save this deck. So maybe it's like sandwiching all of the opinions and feelings and, you know, experiences that you're having on both sides of this, but ultimately, like, the center of it is this kind of like heartbreaking feeling that you're having. It is what it is. I don't know. We feel heartbreak just as often as we feel joy, just as often as we feel boredom, and just as often as we piss and shit and do all of the other things that we do all the time. Today is a day of conflict. I heard 5 caws. So what can we do? We can have a lot of fun seeing this here. We can sweat a little bit seeing this here, but I want to get to the other side of the parallel before I get too sidetracked. So the first one is this kind of situation that you had to walk away from. Yes, geez, I kind of mixed them both up while saying it. The first situation was like you were trying to align with this person, so like you thought you were on the same page. That's what with the Page of Cups is, being on the same page wasn't happening. It makes me think of the Two of Cups reversed, where you're not saying eye to eye. The Page of Cups reversed or upright, I don't know. You weren't on the same page with someone that you thought you were on the same page on, and you did something to align with them, didn't work out. This is currently, you know, still in your field. The other side of it is that you're trying to, God, I lost it. That's funny. Let's get clarification. I was probably drawing connections that that needed more details before getting into them. Just want to draw on both sides of this Two of Swords. All right. Okay, I'm just getting a big feeling that like you are not aware of the safety that you are currently experiencing right now and how much it is affecting your discernment and your ability to handle yourself in these situations should they arise. You're definitely up to par. You're better than up to par. You are incredibly strong. And I know that. I know that because I feel that from the reading. And also, I kind of get a hint of that because strength sometimes, it's kind of like if you gotta be dumb, then you better be tough. If you're gonna be dumb, then you gotta be tough. Because it's kind of like you can get away with more if you can defend yourself, basically. And I'm glad that you're really feeling like you're very capable of defending yourself at the moment. But you may be moving without a plan. There's nothing to worry about with the dumb comment. It's more so just like you're kind of flying through this. And again, it's the energy that I've brought to the reading the whole time of like plugging things in, moving it around, feeling all out of sorts until like I start to get into the groove, forgetting something halfway through the sentence. I'm not trying to self-deprecate here or you know, other deprecate. I am, however, trying to understand what this energy is trying to get across here because it's a bit chaotic. And behind you knowing that you're actually supported, there's an energy that either you're trying to get away with something about it or other people are. But I'm seeing like whether or not you're surrounded by people, you stand on solid ground until you get the feeling that there's something off. I think that's sandwiched between you and your friends, kind of. Sorry to hear that. I think it's perfectly okay to go without a plan sometimes. I'm being asked to not look into that anymore with the High Priestess in reverse. It's just kind of like, I don't know, we're winging it. Get over it. Get over the fact that you're winging it. Embrace it. Be dumb, tough, smart, and content with what you're up to, all right? Be lots of things. Be the being of multitudes that you are. But underneath the Chariot, kind of back in this situation that we're in with this other person, that there was some separation, there was an alignment that was trying to happen, you weren't on the same page, it's causing this kind of like tumultuous feeling. But there are people who are coming around to acknowledge as you change your perspective about the situation, which is quite obvious here, okay? And we had the Two of Wands reversed, talking about clearing yourself so that you are a clear channel for your loved ones, for your life, for the things that you need to do. Clear yourself as often as you can. I'm getting a headache. It's like, yeah, clear yourself so that you don't hurt. I think that we get way too comfortable with pain and we allow it to just kind of linger, when it's like, no, I constantly need to be clearing. I constantly need to be journaling. I constantly need to be running in circles around the block, or whatever it is you need to do to restabilize. This feels like running in circles around the block. And if you've been doing stuff like that, I think it's obvious. I don't need to explain it necessarily, but it feels to me like that's reinforcing your protection, right? Just, there's a kind of a self-perpetuating cycle. It makes me think of hydroponics. My headache is clearing when I think of this. You need to think of water metaphors, or you need to like get an aquarium, or just stare at like fish tank videos or something. Because just clear it out, wash it. You need water up here. You need water. See all this blue? Just wash it out. And I know blue is the throat, but like, this is the cool, clear energy that I think we're needing. I think it, over time of being in perpetual conflict and scarcity mindset, we can begin to confuse conflict for fleeing for safety. They're not really the same thing. Being in conflict is not the same as heading towards safety, okay? So let's head over to this Two of Swords, flanked by the Magician in reverse and the Queen of Cups. I draw two swords for the... Sorry. I knew my words were going to get jumbled because I felt like I was yelling just then. My voice got louder. So I was just like, I draw two cards whenever I get the Two of Swords so that I can see which direction to go in. Actually, there's a book that I... Like, let me move all my unpaid bills. Called Advanced Tarot. And that's where I got that reference of drawing two cards on either side of the Two of Swords. There are plenty of books. I mean, read these books. Read ones that are written in ways that you immediately like to read. Just crack it open, read a paragraph, and if you want to read more, then get it. I don't know how much more simple my advice can be. I'm sorry that my advice is so simple. So let me draw two more cards. And it gives me 3, because this is the reading about 3s after all. Sounds like abundance to me. Interesting though. So there is... I think the part of 3s is why the Magician is reversed, is why something feels deceptive, is why it feels like the wool's being pulled over your eyes, is why you get 3 cards instead when you ask for 2, stuff like that. 3's a crowd. 3's a crowd is what I keep getting. There's too many people here. There's like a situation where there's you and another person that is making enough sense for you to be like making the choices that you're making in the way that you are. But there's still just like hidden people. It's like there are 4 people standing here when there just should have been 2 working it out. There's 2 extra people involved in something. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but I am saying it feels confusing. And here's the 3 of Cups behind it to confirm, and Justice in reverse. It's like, it's fine when y'all are hanging out, but there is still something happening behind the scenes that doesn't really feel the best and is causing you to debate really closing off into yourself and just saying, I'm tired. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of not knowing. I don't want to talk. Ever. And then you just close off. And I can't say that I blame you when looking at this, because this looks exhausting. You know what this tells me? That even when you're alone, you don't feel like you have a minute alone. You don't have any time to yourself to really think about what's going on, to really see. It's just constant intel and information. The lovers are upright though, so it's like I'm feeling a positive spin on this really strongly. I think within this is I asked for threes and I'm all complaining about the threes that are showing up, but within this choice is born another choice. So it's like this is another version of abundance that is very tricky. It's very trickster energy. It's kind of back and forth. You kind of don't know if you can trust it. That's how Gemini energy rolls. You don't know if you can trust those fuckers, but ultimately you can, because they know everything. They know everything. I mean, no, I'm not going to say that you can trust all of them because they know everything, but you can trust them if they like you because they know everything, all right? If they don't like you, you can't trust them as far as you can throw them. We generalize on this channel sometimes. Anyway, so within this choice, is born another choice. And the choice is basically saying you're caught between a rock and a hard place if you try to do this on your own. This is a 2 to tango thing. And I know that it feels like there are 4 people, but maybe it's like there are past versions of yourself that are showing up and are going, I don't like how this is going, when the current version of you is like, this sounds good. I'm not really upset about it, but you can sense that there's a part of you that is, so you want to jump in and go, well, maybe I am upset about it, and it's worth mentioning because I'm hearing this voice in my head. But you're here now for me to tell you that this is happening so that you can choose away from it. Hear the voice and go, does that part really need to choose what we need to eat tonight because we didn't get to choose what we got to eat when we were 7? And then it becomes about conflict resolution, because this is adulthood, people, and childhood and teenagehood. We're always conflict resoluting, gaining resolution. I don't know. But either way, it's gonna, no matter how confusing it feels, no matter how jittery you get, anxious you feel, blocked, whatever, like, this 3 energy is here to turn the tide. It's here to turn the tide. Again, let's get these water metaphors back in. Feel water just kind of sloshing in and out of your mind. Trust that every thought is a wave that returns to the ocean from whence it came. That is Sam Harris and Buddhism in general, talking about the wave of consciousness emerging and returning to its original state, which is the water. So just remember, each thought that goes by is going to leave and return to your mind from where it came. And from whence it came is from Lord of the Rings. And Lord of the Rings is my favorite trilogy. So do something that feels like a nice little bite of escape for you. If you have a favorite trilogy, watch it. There are probably enough metaphors in there regarding water for you to really wash your conscience clean, is what I'm getting. Wash your conscience clean with the Hierophant. The Hierophant? Hierophant? Everyone calls it something different, but I've been calling it Hierophant forever, so meh. And then my back cracked for confirmation. The 8 of Pentacles. Now it's starting to turn around. Now my headache has moved up here, still because of the cologne, but now I've talked about the cologne, so it's not just punching me in the back of the head anymore, it's kind of at the front of the consciousness. And we've got the 3 of Cups at the bottom of the deck again. People have messed with you, and I'm sorry. You know what, now I'm kind of sad that I, tore up this mermaid narwhal, or sorry, that's not a narwhal, that's a dolphin. tore up this mermaid dolphin combo while talking about water being soothing, but I think I'm gonna make like a cute little whatever. I'm getting off track. I'm gonna like thread it. I'm so into like Renaissance like shirts with the deep V and the like pirate shirts. What am I talking about? Maybe I don't know. I've had Renaissance fairs on the mind. So, you know, again, that's totally leaning into the like go play in your favorite movie. If you like period pieces, just go watch something old. Just like take the tension out of yourself a little bit for a while. Okay. What else? What else? Four of Wands. I see a lot of like union energy coming in once you kind of decide. It's not about me doing it on my own. It's about me pairing with whoever I'm paired with, whoever I'm doing with this, even if it's pairing with a part of myself, pairing with that past version that's kind of crashing through the wall asking for something. Team up with them and just be like, what do you need? Where do you want to go? I don't need to do this without you. I like seeing the Four of Wands next to the Chariot like this underneath the Three of Wands reversed, because I think that what a relief. I felt like I just picked up a rock and saw what was underneath it. Such relief was just brought to my system. Wow. Sorry, my sinuses get kind of blocked, so it's like hard for me to take breaths sometimes. It's embarrassing. Whatever, I can't help it. I'm being defensive today. I need to chill. The Three of Wands was actually here to tell us that you're further along than the ways that you feel stuck. And I like feeling this relief with you. I don't like that I was trying to take it on for myself. You know what I mean? This is good. Like, this is, Three of Wands reversed is what's behind you. You're not looking to the shore to see what will come in for, like, you're not about to go on your next adventure. You're in the middle of your current adventure, and that adventure is yielding high. It's yielding high. And as much as people want to be against it, when you refuse to try to do it alone and just schluck through the mud, there's suddenly proof that there is someone who supports what you're doing. And I'm not talking about external validation as in having people around you so that it's like cool and validation factor type shit about perception. It's literally like you could just have one other person that kicks it with you, and even though you don't have a big plan or whatever, they're just kind of like, I trust them, because you are putting trust in each other instead of only in yourself. You're putting trust in each other instead of only in yourself. And that is creating a bond. And here are three more figures, 1, 2, 3, to show us, look, no longer alone. No longer alone. Good. Good. You made it. Good. There's no need to be afraid of someone trying to like pull a fast one or, you know, tell you things that aren't true. What's important is that you're not alone anymore. And that can cause whatever arguments it needs to, and people can perceive you as, you know, just kind of flying through your life. But again, that we're not going to investigate that, because we all cope the way that we need to. We move at the pace that feels good in each and every moment, and it is up to us to trust ourselves enough to slow down before we burn out. Because I'm seeing a little bit of burnout with this as I'm looking over there with the Knight of Wands underneath. You're excited. You want to go, you want to go, you want to go, but you don't want to just jump on a horse and ride off without anyone else. Still, that almost feels like teaming up with other people, but I'm seeing that that's because of clouded judgment, and that's how, oh my god, so many aces reversed with this. Don't do this. Don't just jump on something else and pretend that it's teamwork without your person being involved. Involve your person in every decision and everything that you do, okay? It just felt like a warning. I don't mean to get so intense, or else, I don't know, just something bad will happen. But ultimately, like, this is going to be, don't be afraid. It's going to be a healing experience, but don't just jump on a horse thinking that that's, like, oh, that's me and my ride or die. You know who your ride or die is. So ride or die with them. Ride with them. Don't ride without them. Okay? Does that make sense? What a reading. I don't know. Let's get one more card just to close it out. 33 on the timer. I knew there was nothing else to be said. Why don't I listen? This being at the bottom of the deck was just kind of like, don't trip. Like, you're about to see the jackpot that is flying out of the slot machine in front of you. The coins have been hitting you. You just haven't seen them. My right ear just went deaf. Maybe, your future, like, sight has been blurry. And you're unable to investigate it because you're just currently in a circumstance that is kind of turning on its own as you're turning your perception of it. I know that this conflict is at the center of it, but still, there is still a slot machine unloading onto your face. I don't mean to sound so graphic. But, be careful of this guy. There may be, like, some grumpy jerk on your tail, but that doesn't matter. We're going to ignore him. We're going to ignore him because ultimately you are no longer alone. You are moving on to peaceful shores, and the people around you are coming around, even if it's slowly. As you change, they'll change. And as new opportunities are presented to you, even more opportunities within those opportunities will be presented that you'll have to make a choice between. This is endless abundance. This is the 3 turning to the 6 forever. I would just say, I'm seeing these 2 5s next to each other because I was really thinking, what do we do about this 5 of Swords? Go by the book. Go by the book. I don't know what that means to you. I always think that when I see this card, but really ultimately what the Hierophant is saying is just have faith, have trust. Trust that, like, you can see these entities where they are for every, for every demon. I didn't want to say demon, it's like I couldn't even say it, but for every devil there's an equal and opposite saint. But just for we're just saying that for metaphor's sake, okay? So you're kind of the opposite to this devil, so you just need to have faith in yourself with this other person that you're with, even if it is the devil, because this could be a Capricorn. But it's like, it's not good and bad. The devil does what he does best, and the Hierophant does what he does best. Whether you're the devil or you're the Hierophant is irrelevant. It's that you locking in together is causing each of you to grow, and that's a good thing. Sorry if this feels too specific, if you can't think of a specific person when I'm saying these things. But ultimately, these can be parts of self. If you are badass enough to have, like, I don't know, these could be 6 parts of you that are coming around and balancing out. You have 2 main drivers that kind of split off from time to time, or are the 2 head debaters in your head going, should I do this, should I do that? The 2 directions that you would go in. But you're finding balance in them both. So neither is wrong. This is when energetic balance trumps everything else that we can project onto it, is what I'm getting at. Good and evil and all that shit historically, whatever. The energy speaks for itself. Energy doesn't lie. But it can be tricky in the way that we discover it and in the ways that we find answers. It can really lead us down twists and turns that we don't anticipate. Just know that you're good. You're protected. Whatever this cycle is that you've been dealing with, you're coming out of knowing that you don't have to do it alone and that you're now in your trio, in your triad. Congrats on the jackpot, by the way. Yeah. I guess that's it. I'm surprised the light lasted this whole time, so I'm just going to cut it before it goes out and scares the hell out of me.